Antonia "Toya" Johnson was born on January 24, 1979, in New Orleans, Louisiana, into a family facing the daily challenges of poverty and instability. As the youngest of several siblings, Toya grew up witnessing the impact of addiction and financial struggles on her parents and older brothers, experiences that would shape her resilience and determination in later life. From an early age, she learned the importance of independence and self-reliance, lessons that would guide her through the many challenges ahead. Teenage love and early motherhood. At just 14 years old, Toya met Dwayne Michael Carter Jr., who would later become globally famous as Lil Wayne. Their young romance quickly became serious, and by the age of 15, Toya was pregnant with their daughter, Regina. While their families were understandably concerned about the challenges of teenage parenthood, Toya embraced her new role with determination. She refused to let her youth define her ability to be a loving and capable mother. On November 29, 1998, Regina was born, instantly becoming the center of Toya's world. While Wayne's career began to take off, Toya balanced the challenges of teenage motherhood with the pressures of navigating life in the public eye. Marriage and independence. Toya married Lil Wayne in 2004, but despite the security of being married to a rising superstar, she realized she did not want her identity to be defined solely by her relationship. The power imbalance, combined with her desire for independence, led her to make the difficult decision to divorce in 2006. Toya understood that security without freedom was not true happiness, and she chose to prioritize her own self-respect and her daughter's future. Finding her voice through creativity. After her divorce, Toya began exploring her creative passions, particularly music. Growing up in New Orleans, she had been immersed in the city's rich musical culture, and through her connection with Wayne, she had access to the industry. She recorded demo tracks and performed locally, experimenting with R&B and hip-hop-inspired sounds that reflected her experiences as a young mother. Though her early recordings never gained major label attention, they allowed her to express herself and begin to carve out her own identity beyond being a rapper's partner. Music became her outlet for the emotions she could not share publicly, a way to process frustration, loneliness, and the desire to be recognized for her own talents. Writing her story. Toya's next step toward independence came through writing. She authored an autobiography detailing her life, from growing up in New Orleans to becoming a teenage mother and navigating life alongside a superstar. Publishing the book was emotionally demanding but empowering, giving her control over her narrative for the first time. She candidly explored the pressures of supporting someone else's career while maintaining her own identity and shared the courage it took to walk away from a life that no longer served her. The book tour introduced her as a thoughtful, articulate woman with her own story to tell, independent of Lil Wayne's fame. Reality television and public recognition. Toya transitioned to reality television, starring alongside Tameka "Tiny" Harris in Tiny and Toya. The show allowed her to showcase her personality, her business sense, and her devotion to her daughter, beyond the headlines that only saw her as a rapper's ex-wife. Its success led to a spin-off, Toya, a family affair, highlighting her life in New Orleans with her family and offering audiences a deeper look at her values, work ethic, and entrepreneurial spirit. Reality TV became a platform for Toya to define herself publicly, not just through the lens of her past relationships, but through her own achievements and authenticity, marriage, challenges, and growth. In 2011, Toya married music executive Mickey Memphis Wright. Their relationship began romantically and intensely, with Memphis appearing attentive and supportive. However, over time, troubling dynamics surfaced. Subtle control, disagreements, and volatility gradually revealed that the relationship was not as harmonious as it initially seemed. Toya confronted difficult truths about boundaries, respect, and self-preservation, realizing that love does not require sacrificing one's independence. The marriage ended in divorce, a decision reinforced by the understanding that protecting herself and her daughter was paramount. Family tragedy and resilience. In 2016, Toya faced one of the greatest heartbreaks of her life, the loss of her brothers, Ryan and Joshua Johnson, who were killed in New Orleans. The double tragedy was compounded by complex family dynamics, as she had long supported her relatives financially while navigating tension and entitlement within those relationships. Despite her grief, Toya set boundaries to protect her peace and her daughter's well-being, understanding that love sometimes requires saying no. The legal proceedings surrounding her brothers' deaths were publicly scrutinized, and though justice was served, the emotional scars remained. Health struggles and advocacy. Toya's journey included personal health challenges, notably a diagnosis of uterine fibroids, a condition that disproportionately affects Black women. She underwent multiple procedures to manage the condition, which impacted her fertility and overall health. Rather than hide these experiences, Toya openly discussed them on reality TV, using her platform to raise awareness about maternal health disparities and advocate for Black women navigating similar challenges. Her openness highlighted her commitment to helping others through her own lived experiences. Setting boundaries and personal growth. The years following her brothers' deaths brought further family conflicts, particularly around financial expectations and entitlement. Toya realized that generosity must be balanced with self-respect, and that boundaries are essential for protecting one's mental and emotional well-being. She made the difficult but necessary choice to distance herself from relatives whose behavior became toxic, demonstrating that family loyalty does not require sacrificing personal peace. Her mother eventually came to understand and respect Toya's boundaries, reflecting the importance of growth, communication, and self-care in familial relationships. Entrepreneurial success. Toya's personal growth extended into business. She developed and expanded entrepreneurial ventures, including a hair bonnet line and her publishing company. These achievements represented more than financial success. They symbolized her independence, her ability to create opportunities on her terms, and her commitment to building a life that reflected her values rather than her past relationships. Toya's business pursuits reinforced her belief that she could thrive as her own person, providing a model of self-sufficiency and resilience for her daughter and her audience. Love, partnership, and maturity. In 2022, Toya married Robert Red Rushing, marking a new chapter built on mutual respect, shared values, and understanding. Unlike past relationships, this partnership emphasized communication, collaboration, and mutual support, reflecting the lessons Toya had learned through decades of personal growth. Together, they navigated challenges with maturity and grace, demonstrating that love can coexist with independence and that a healthy partnership enhances rather than diminishes one's life. Legacy and empowerment. Toya Johnson's life story is one of perseverance, growth, and self-determination. From a teenage mother in New Orleans to a successful entrepreneur, author, and advocate, she has consistently refused to accept less than she deserves. Her journey illustrates the importance of protecting personal boundaries, honoring one's values, and building a life on one's own terms. Her daughter Regina has grown into a grounded, responsible young woman, a testament to Toya's guidance and example. Beyond personal success, Toya has used her platform to address critical issues, including maternal health disparities and empowerment for women navigating complex family dynamics. Conclusion. Toya Johnson's story is a powerful example of resilience in the face of adversity. She has experienced love, heartbreak, loss, and triumph, yet she has never allowed her circumstances to define her. Through creative expression, entrepreneurship, advocacy, and boundary setting, Toya has built a life that reflects her authenticity, independence, and unwavering dedication to her family. Her journey reminds us that honoring the past does not require being imprisoned by it, and that the greatest gift a parent can give is not wealth or fame, but the courage to live with integrity, self-respect, and purpose.